In this video, we're exploring the anatomy of R functions. A function is a way of doing something and getting something else back, like taking a bunch of numbers and getting the mean in return. You use functions all the time, that's how R works. Most of the functions we use are built in, but at some point you might want to create your own, but let's leave that for later. A function has a keyword that tells R what to do, like calculate the mean or the median. Then we have brackets to tell R what numbers or data to use. For example, we have some numbers stored in X and use mean as the keyword to calculate the mean. Then bracket X as the data and bracket to close. Sometimes we need to give more instructions, and these are called arguments. Many functions take many different arguments so that R knows exactly what to do. To make sure we don't write endlessly long code, many arguments have default values. A reasonable instruction that will work in most cases. For example, if we use quantiles, R has default values for which quantiles to calculate. So we can simply use quantile, X, and done. But we can also say which probabilities we want, like 41% and 92%, if that is what you really need. We can see here the arguments are separated by commas, and you use the equal sign to specify the values. The order of the arguments doesn't matter if they are explicit. For example, here we can put the probabilities argument first and it will still work. This is handy when you have many arguments in a function, like plot. Often we can avoid naming arguments if we follow the correct order. For example, here we can skip the probs equal part because R expects the number or vector first and then probabilities. Although it's a bit faster in terms of typing, we should also be careful with this so that we can go back to our code and understand what's going on. So if you're using something like round to x and 2 to round to 2 digits, that's probably pretty easy to understand. But with many arguments or less common ones, you can't go wrong with spelling things out. After all, you want to understand your code. To store the results, we simply assign them to an object, like m equals mean vector. Then we can use the results in another function, and you're actually programming. For example, you can then use round to round the mean we've just calculated. Some people prefer to combine several steps at once, like an onion, others intermediate steps. These are just different ways of using functions.